I don't know. Let's see. I'm sure Rocket League's in shambles.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Yeah, anybody who wasn't here yesterday, people didn't like my background. People didn't like my new.
Oh, all right, never mind. Background. Rizzo is also like he got called out because he like something crazy happened during his watch party and he gave like a lame reaction. But dude, the guy was streaming for like 4.5 hours and it seemed like it was a pretty kind of, just a rough RLCS to cast. So I thought maybe he was going to address that too. He might talk about that. I think it's overrated. I don't think it's any big deal. He does look like he's streaming in a prison though, and I like it. That's funny as shit.
New York back alley. So I'm home.
Jesus.
No more green screen. No more green screen. Do you guys remember how, at the beginning of the season, they're like, hey, RLCS, bunch of new stuff. And, they made this big post and all this cool stuff. Well, some of it's cool, some of it's not. But one of the cooler things people didn't like initially, but now they like it a bit more, is that in NA and EU, top 128 get a little piece of the pie, creates a more sustainable esport, makes it possible for more people to be able to, play it a little bit lower, like the bubble tier, stuff like that. People getting a part of the prize money. And you can see
it's easier. It gives you a higher threshold for payout. So it incentivizes people to want to go back and play because they've already made professional earnings, in quotes you could say, around their game. I get what they're doing with it. People weren't happy because the top dogs were now making less, but we get what they're doing.
The full payout right here. AJ tweeted it a while ago. First place, they got 30K last season. That was cut down by 9K, so they get 21,000. Oh no, the poor billionaire pros. But the good part is the lower tier pros, pros, because the pros that actually get to this 128 prize pool are people like me. So Turbo's.
I know he's insulting himself, but he can still keep up in pro lobbies, and he knows it. He absolutely knows it. Not like, super high end, like finalist type deals, but Rizzo can hold his own in the average pro lobby.
Cheeks actually made $400 each. They don't mind that. So actually, I can't wait because, we've all made $400 each. I'm just excited to get paid. I feel like it'll be pretty easy, smooth sailing, pretty seamless, I would say. Pretty seamless of getting paid from this whole ordeal. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, this is 4 months ago, by the way, so let me give context. Multiple pros are expressing frustration about not being paid by Epic Games. Fiber, he says he got from Sonics as if he hasn't tried to claim his Sprint and Winter major prizes ages ago. Apparently, his tournament prizings will expire on November 25th, 2023.
Wait, so they didn't pay him? And then they're saying that, hey, we paid you, but they haven't been collected and it's going to expire? Holy yo, dude, that's crazy.
So again, 4 months ago. And this happened to like 4 different players. Gom said the same thing, can't even claim it. Andy filled out the tax form for like 8 months ago. Is there any?
Yeah, I did my taxes. Did you make any money from Rocket League? Yeah, but I didn't get it. Bro, this is crazy. This is nuts. I've kept up with Rocket League a lot and I totally missed this. They just weren't paying out pros. This is insane.
Anybody we can contact, I beg. I think this was resolved. I'm not 100% sure. I can't really confirm it, but I would assume after some outcry publicly like this, it does get resolved. Usually that's kind of how it goes. That's why like people say, oh, don't make this public. Well, if it's never public, nothing ever fucking happens. So
he's right. I'm sure they did resolve this. I'm sure Epic 100% paid everybody that needed to be paid.
Usually how this ends up happening. And then this one was a month ago, by the way. For Life says a reminder to everyone not to be patient with your RLCS prizes or
after review, it appears that the pending prizes have expired and are no longer eligible to be claimed as a process claim. Oh God. Jesus.
Just won't be able to claim anymore. It says, thank you for verifying. After review, it appears the pending prizes have expired and no longer eligible. So apparently the prize will just expire if you don't claim them, but also they're having trouble claiming them even if they follow the instructions. Let's be real, guys. Let's be real. It's happening to OCE players. It's happening to Fiber. It happened to Gami's EU. It happened to Andy. He's NA, but Andy's a bubble player. It happened to Super Lucky, and he's OCE, so who cares, right? Right? No, am I just being an asshole? Apparently it also happened to Zen.
What? Bro, stop it. Zen's mom confirms Zen hasn't been paid for world nor regional split. Epic Game needs. Oh, okay, that's right. I forgot. She doesn't speak English, so we're not gonna know what that says. That's crazy, though. That is like the best player in the entire world for the game, and it hasn't even gotten played. Mama Zen 27, though. I love that. I love that. That's great.
So this is Zen's mom confirmed that Zen hasn't been paid for his Worlds win nor regionals from the spring split. And I don't speak French, but there is a translation in the comments that I'm just going to trust fully that says, Translate, Epic Game doesn't pay cash prize, so nothing surprised me anymore. And then Life is Cool said, did Zen receive his world's cash prize? And then his second mom message said, nope, nothing from regional either. So yeah, they did not make mama happy with that one. So I think, you know, the thing is, I don't want to throw this out there, but I am like 99% sure they fired the person who paid people. And so they had to say,
oh God, no. In all the layoffs. Oh. Actually, when you think about it, it's kind of a big brain idea from Epic. How do we cut costs? We stop giving prize pools. That's actually... Holy, that's big brain.
set up basically an entirely new system that is I guess still in the works. I don't know. People need to realize this shit happens in the professional world too. It's not acceptable there either, but it's just a matter of incompetence and companies trying to scam people. You know what the thing is like, I don't think they're actively trying to scam people. I genuinely think it's an oversight, which is super unfortunate because of how many people are owed money. But to a multi-billion-dollar company, who cares about a couple $100,000 in payments or whatever it might be? It's
right, like it's a mess up. We accidentally got rid of somebody. We probably didn't fill a position. Something stupid, right? But guys, like Rocket League is under Epic at this point, right? I don't know who necessarily determines what funds and stuff like that, but it seems like almost everything for RLCS is run through Epic, which would make sense now that they're they own the full rights. I know Psyonix does still handle some stuff, but this, oh, that's a bad look, bro. That's a bad look.
such a minuscule thing to something of that size. I don't think they're actively trying to scam. I think it's just a big oversight where, like, you know, they potentially fire.
I don't think they're trying to scam. I think they just realize their system's messed up and they don't really give a shit. Or they probably think people are lying and trying to scam them out of paying them double.
The person who pays people, and then they have to fix it, but they didn't think about it at the time. There's another thing. This one's a little this one's got some substance to it. Torsauce ends up making a tweet. If you guys don't know, Torsauce is a pro player in Oceania, plays for Power. This is, I mean, you know it's serious when there's a 2-page PNG open letter to the upcoming RLCS major in Copenhagen. 2 weeks before they were due to leave for the major, the teams that have qualified to Major 1 were informed that travel will only be funded in accordance with a designated travel window. This means that if a team desires to travel earlier, such as is the case for a boot camp, they'd have to cover the full expenses of that travel. So usually the major, if it's on the 29th, that'd be Friday. It'd be 29th, 30th, 31st. It'd be a 3-day weekend, potentially 4, depending on the format, whatever. Players would get it on Tuesday if they're like from that region. But you could always talk to ESL, the tournament organizer at the time, and be like, hey, we don't want to get in Tuesday. We want to get in Thursday before, 5 days earlier. And they would cover the flight essentially, but you would pay the difference. They wouldn't cover your hotel. They would just book a flight 5 days earlier for you to basically be able to go to boot camp. Or like if they don't want to go to Copenhagen immediately and they want to go to Germany to boot camp, say it's an NA team or OC, it doesn't matter, and they want to go to Germany to boot camp, say, hey, we are actually going to fly to Frankfurt on this day, 5 days before you need us, so we will basically do everything else. Like, it's not a big hassle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this doesn't seem like a big deal, right? You pay the difference for a flight to come in sooner. I mean, this checks out. I see why they're not doing it anymore, because it's more back-end work for the company to do that they don't want to do because it's Epic and it's multi-billion-dollar and who gives a shit. But I mean, that is kind of a pain in the ass for sure.
It's just like, we will be in a different country. This is where you need to send us, and then we will get there ourselves. It's happened all the time. But now they will only cover stuff if it's in their designated travel window, which is basically their tournament week. Would probably be the 26th through the 31st, which is Tuesday through Sunday. So if you're an OCE team or an APAC team, you have this very long travel time, by the way. Sometimes, actually, I would say most times over 24 hours. And so you have extreme...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's got to be over 24 hours because when you're going for Worlds, I mean, you're bringing people from every region. That's crazy.
Jet lag. And so you're gonna get there on Tuesday, do media day on Wednesday where you get pictures, videos, content. You're gonna do your scrims. You're gonna have a full practice day on Thursday potentially, unless your org needs content. Your org might need content on Thursday, and then you're gonna play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, you know, you have this long travel. You have 2 days.
Yeah, you got long travel and then get in there and get grinding, baby. Nah, we're not bringing you out an extra day before for you to relax. Never.
While you're still busy to get over your jet lag, and then you got to play. you got to compete. And if you want to do something else, they're not going to pay for it. He basically says this differs from previous seasons. As it currently stands, depending on your region, players will arrive the day before a media shoot, followed by the competition days, providing a single day to recover, adjust, and set up to compete for RLCS. Bootcamp functions as a way for players to overcome jet lag, adjust their sleep schedules, and prepare for international competition. There are concerns around the sustainability for minor region and low budget teams that are being overlooked. One concern is that players traveling upwards of 24 hours, moving straight into media day, then competing the following days is not only challenging at the competitive level, but concerning for players' health and well-being. And then the second concern is having minor region orgs cover the full expenses. So I've already talked pretty extensively about how they're making it much hard. I don't think it's actually been in a video, but it's been on Chalkcast quite a bit. It made it very hard for orgs to want to join RLCS. They're just making it tough. You could look at this with pirates on a boat.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting there kind of shooting themselves on the foot, right? Because you already have a lot of massive orgs that are in Rocket League, like tier 1 orgs that are in it, but you're making it really hard for teams to want to come back or even new teams to want to join. I mean, it certainly makes it not incentivizing to get involved in Rocket League. If you're already in it, then great. But if you're not, you kind of have no reason to really join it compared to the other esports market that's out there.
They're a top 8 team, but it's looking pretty tough for an org to want to sign them. And I don't know this to have this knowledge of like orgs are talking to them, orgs are not talking to them. But from my perspective, why would an org sign a team like that who is currently in top 8? There's only 4 spots at the major. They barely get screen time on a stream, and even though they're at top 8 now, they could go into the next split and just be dog, and then they don't have any reliability on like keeping their spot or anything like that. They just made it so hard for orgs to actually want to stay in the esport. And then now you already have orgs that are already low budget,
which is why I still go back to the idea of they need to model it kind of like how Valorant has it, where a couple of your, major teams, ones that are always competing at a LAN and ones that are always finishing top 4 and whatnot, they should kind of get a simple, almost not walkthrough qualifiers, but they should be getting some kind of advantage.
In general, most orgs are pretty low.
And then you bring up, obviously, minor teams that are outperforming some majors. You sync them majors down to the minors. But they just don't want to do that. They just want to do open qualifier, everybody come and send it, which has its pros and cons, but I think it's a con. I think it's a net negative going from what they had before. I know they had more games going on and it wasn't good for players, but they should just cut back on that instead of changing the entire format.
Budget these days, right? And you won't even cover travel costs for them to fly to a location 5 days early. Not to say that you need to pay for a hotel. You don't need to pay for a hotel. All you need to do is cover the flight, basically the same flight you were going to pay for anyway, and then pay the difference, or they will pay the difference.
Yeah, I guess that's what I don't understand. I mean, again, it's more because they don't want to have to deal with the hassle. Right? If a LAN event, say, is April 10th, you send info to all the orgs, you let everybody know it'll be covered, you'll bring people in, we'll say the 6th or whatever day it was, and then anybody that needs an adjustment, they're kind of just saying, like, SOL, it's on you. But, I mean, I don't know. At the same time, like, I feel like you should be able to hit them up and be like, oh, hey, we're going to go in a couple days before, can you just help us out on the flight? They set up the flight, you pay the difference. They were going to be paying for your flight anyway. So you're basically just paying extra for the inconvenience that he even claims. And I'm assuming Rizzo knows. He was a previous pro. He's probably experienced this before. The wanting to get in early and then, hey, we just pay the difference. Like, great. So kind of getting rid of this it's just kind of like a why. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Why even get rid of it in the first place? Especially when it's not like Rocket League's on the up and up right now in the esports world.
The team will pay the difference. I think the thing is they're just so limited on people that they don't want to add any extra stress, which, I guess makes sense to an extent, but I feel like I can't defend this. I really can't. Especially, and I wonder about this because I talk about this every now and then. I wonder if it's one of those things where I think it's so bad because it's always been this way and now it's not, or if I actually just think this is how it should be. But I do feel like it's not that crazy to make it be this way.
It's not crazy for it to be made this way. It's just kind of a pain in the ass that they basically provided a good service before for players and kind of this like, showing flexibility and then basically just kind of taking away. If it was kind of like that right from the get-go and everybody was used to it, this would have never been a conversation, but you had it and you took it away. So now, of course, people are going to be pissed off.
they give the teams a budget and let them plan it. It seems a little bit more complicated because you do have you have managers. You had well, I don't know if they're gonna have it at this land, but at every land they've always had player managers and they have always kept track of all your details. So if you kind of divert off of that, it could really mess them up and all of their scheduling. It is very important that everybody is there on the same day and any delays need to be communicated. But it has been done for 7 years with 15-year-olds, with 18-year-olds, with 21-year-olds, with
it's because they lowered that age to 13. It's because they lowered the age to 13. We can't trust these kids.
managers, with parents, everything. It has been done for 7 years. People have been more than capable of doing this. Like there is a system in place that is perfectly okay, and the change is unnecessary, in my opinion.
It's one of those, if it's not broke, don't fix it. 100%.
I just joined and have no clue what you're talking about, but I fully disagree and think you are misinformed on the issue at hand. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you chimed in. No, I appreciate that because you always got to keep me humble. So that's.
Oh shit, dude. Hey, I just joined, but your take is fucking based. That's great, man. This is a W video. Here, hold on. Let me link it to you guys really quick here. Go support Rizzo. Go sub to him, obviously, if you're not. Let's see what a couple comments say, and then we'll move on. I'm praying there will be an actual update, a content update sometime this year, because if things keep going like this, Rocket League is going to completely die. The pro scene's going downhill, mixed with no new content, a wicked 1-2 combo. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a good look. They 100% need more of a content update. I mean, it's going to be tough to say if Rocket League's going to completely die, but the pro scene going downhill, like viewership this weekend was absolutely awful. I mean, I get it. They didn't have drops. Drops are absolutely massive. It seems like for Rocket League, without drops, like they're hardly ever hitting over like 30K, which is kind of weak, but it is what it is. Let's see a couple more. Sad to see Epic doesn't care about their player base. They care about their child Fortnite. It's depressing to see the downfall of a unique game. Oh yeah, the broken leaderboard, Epics and Psyonix aren't fixing. 2020 was such a vibe for this game, especially mid-2020. Yeah, I mean, this is true. Oh, he's got more to say. RLCS is on the current downfall too. Only two majors and a worlds, less of a prize pool, less of you and NA spots, and casters kicked. I'm talking about this before people say this isn't the point of the video. Yeah, I mean, this person's right and wrong, right? He's definitely right about this stuff. Mid 2020s and whatnot, that was kind of like the peak, like 2020, early 2021. This wasn't a bad thing. Even the less prize pool and whatnot. It's just these little things that they're doing. That are kind of screwing them, I think.